education is under attack. That's the urgent warning for my guest right now. Joining me is Dr. Rema Vassar, the founder of Centering Black Children in Education, better known as the CBCE. She's on a mission to protect Black students' futures after recent funding cuts gutted programs that support our kids. Dr. Rema is here to talk about why we must center Black children in education and how we can all step up to help. She's also here to share what's in store for the upcoming CBCE Call to Action virtual convening on March the 13th. How are you, Dr. Rema?
Awesome. How are you?
It's such a pleasure to talk to you. And it's such a pleasure to meet, even though it's virtually, a sister who thinks this topic is so important because it is really close and near and dear to my heart. So, you've been saying that education is under attack due to recent funding cuts. Can you explain what's going on and how these cuts are affecting students and schools?
Yes. So first, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm just honored to be in the virtual presence of a legend. So I appreciate you taking time to talk to me and just getting to know you a little bit beforehand. I appreciate your love for our children and how you have shown up time and time again for those who are most vulnerable. I just appreciate you and your work. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. No, thank you. So yeah, so there's a lot of shenanigans happening, right? Right now in our current administration, there's just a lot going on. Every day it's something new, keeping us on our toes. But some of these political shenanigans have reached down into places that most people are not paying attention to, right? So this whole attack on DEI, we got an executive order in January. Anything that has anything to do with DEI, you need to get rid of. An executive order, right?
Right.
Executive orders are not bills, they're not laws, they're nothing. They're just paper and some words. But people scrambled, got terrified, afraid, and they started making cuts. And I think this is always a trick of a bully. A bully will see if you flinch, right? And if you flinch and give them your lunch money, the next time they're going to take your coat, right? So that January executive order, people were like, here, take my coat, like they started dismantling.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just started dismantling anything that was DEI. Now, what is DEI? Diversity, equity, and inclusion is not a policy. It's something it's an idea. It's something you want to aspire to, right? Diversity is not even aspirational. There's diversity.
It's a mindset.
This is diversity right here on this call, right? We don't have the same geography. We don't have the same education. We don't have the same hairstyle. We don't have the same edge control. Like, I mean, it's diversity all in this. Diversity is easy. Equity and inclusion, those are more difficult, right? You have to decide to make changes. Who do you decide to hire? Who do you decide to admit? And so we think about this attack on DEI as an attack on hiring and college admissions. No. In that attack, he had a list of all the key words to look for. This programming, you have programming that has woman, Black, African American. African American was first, right? But if you didn't think you were African American, okay, cool, I'm gonna put Black on here too. So either way, you're gonna get hit up. And then Asian, Arab, like he had everybody. He had equity, inclusion, he had culturally responsive pedagogy, he had everything you could think of is on this list. My programming, Centering Black Children in Education, is a culturally responsive initiative. It's really a movement to establish equity and justice. Justice is on the list. So immediately, they came for my little program. Immediately. Now, okay, so it's not about admissions. It's not about hiring. It's about doing what's right for Black children, right? It's literally, we do student agency programs, bring them to campus at Wayne State University in Detroit, actually per capita the Blackest city in the United States. Just beating out Philly just by a little bit. But they come to campus and we teach them leadership, we teach them advocacy, we teach them how to look at policy and see where they need to make changes and give them the kind of agency that they walk into buildings with the superintendent or at the the state capitol, and they talk about policies, right? That we do this work with students. We work with Black women principals on wellness, right? Just take care of yourself. That is a radical notion for people who are
Mhm.
brought here for our labor, for to work. To
Right.
say your resistance to that is just to take care of yourself. We talk about that. We do that. We have a big conference in August, bringing all these speakers, virtual. It's free. Everybody can come. They come from Haiti. They come from Jamaica. They come from Canada. They come all across the United States. And we have a week-long conference of education and topics for centering Black children in education. We do all this work and they cut all the funding
I
based on.
think that's the thing that aggravates me the most. We've done all of this work. Senator Vincent Hughes is a dear friend, and I always applaud him on a regular for what he does for Black education in our area. And to see all his hard work just be rolled back, it's heart wrenching to me. Here we are working. It's like building a house of cards, if you will. You know what I mean? And you get it to the top, and you get this last card just for someone to open the door and blow it down. And I feel that's what we're going through now with this current administration. So you do have this urgent call to action happening on March 13th. Can you tell my listeners more about what they should do? First of all, let me ask you, who can we expect to see speak on the 13th?
So I try to get a mix of folks, right? Because I think education, to your point, when you first got on the mic, it's your responsibility. It's my responsibility. It should be everyone's passion. So I got a cross section of folks to talk about this moment that we're having in DEI and what that means for Black folks in education, right? So I got some of the top leading scholars, Dr. Tyrone Howard. We were just in Philly last year for the American Educational Research Association conference. It's about 14,000 people. He was the president last year, so we had a big, huge time in Philly. Sean Harper, he's a Forbes writer. He's on CNN a lot. You got Dr. Reverend Wendell Anthony. He's the Detroit NAACP president, the largest branch in the country. We have Judge Greg Mathis, a dear friend, but also he doesn't take any shorts when it comes to Black folks.
He sure doesn't.
He's not about the
Never
games.
has.
He's not about it. And
Right.
so when I told him about it, he was like, "What you need me to do?" I was like, "Come and host and let us know what we can do legally because we're in a fight. We're
We
in
are
a fight, and
a heavyweight fight.
people need to recognize. You need to put your Vaseline, take out your earrings.
Earrings. It's time to throw.
We gotta squabble up. Like this is not a time to be thinking that we have allies, thinking that somebody's gonna come and save us. We have to save ourselves. And if we know anything about Black people, we've always done it. We not only save ourselves, we save everybody.
It's not our first rodeo. So it's time for everybody, like you said. It's 3:00 after school. It's time to rumble.
Who
It's time to rumble.
who with me?
Okay.
Right.
With that said, how can my listeners join you? How can they get involved on the 13th? Give me instructions, give me times. What are we doing here?
Right. So this is a virtual event. All of our offerings are always free. And in fact, we give scholarships to kids. There's a June ball. I just want you to come to that. Oh, would you please come to that? Please come. I'm gonna bug you after this about that ball. We have a June ball where we just give scholarships to kids at every level, like grad school, just graduated, because we graduate, Black women graduate with the most debt. We're also the most highly educated subgroup in the United States. I want you to know, Black women are.
Okay.
But I try to help people wherever they are. They're going into college, in college, right? Left college. I'll try to give scholarships. So June. So that would be
back to the 13th. How can my people join?
Okay. So March 13th, on Thursday, we're having 2 sessions. One at 1, another one at 3. Each panel will be discussing what we should do as a collective and individually to respond, anticipate, and then defeat these attacks on us, right? Because DEI in some spaces really means Black. It means uneducated, means unqualified, it means Black. So we're under attack. We're going to talk about that with two different panels, with two people, with two groups of expertise. So hitting it from the community activists like Angel Gregoria, from the students, King Bethel. We're going to talk about what our collective and individual response should be. So you should register. Go to cbceconference.info, cbceconference.info to register. And at that registration, you can certainly, because everything is free, right? You can certainly register for free. I want to just remind everyone that my funding got cut. So anything you can give will go to just our programming continuing for students, our program continuing for principals, our program continuing for leading for equity, for injustice, for leaders who are building leaders, K-12 leaders. I need folks to get involved, get engaged, get educated, and get into it, because we're in a fight and we really do need everyone to come out,
We
right?
do. And when it comes to the funding, I'm sure that folks, I say it often when we're raising money for a good cause, a lot of littles add up to a whole lot. And I know that we are dealing with prices are sky high for groceries and everything else. But if they can do what they can, like I said, a lot of littles add up to a lot. I hope my listeners understand that and make a donation to your cause. I pray that this Thursday is nothing but successful. I hope our folks get some valuable information on how we can literally save our children, their schools, their education. It is a time for a call to action for us to come together and do something about this madness. Without an education, we all know where they end up. Jail. Let's just say
They
it
got
out
it.
loud.
They got a place for them. The
Yeah.
school to prison
Already,
pipeline.
there is a table already set and prepared for them. Let's not let them get there.
And I wanted we started off talking about caring for the vulnerable, and you're talking about how you care for folks who are older, right, and more mature and seasoned. And I just really want to make this connection. When we think about kids and we think about the future, we're thinking about ourselves,
We are.
because we're gonna need them.
Who's going to take care of us when we get to those senior years? Exactly. Look, I'm almost already there now. It's
Not
a
at all.
concern. Yes, I am.
Not
I'm
at
a
all.
concerned citizen when it comes to the health care of my future, of my generation. And you're right. We're going to need our children.
Yeah.
We're going to need them to be employed. We're going to need them to be educated. We're going to need them to be able to thrive and take care of their families. And it all starts in school.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing on the 13th is to be commended, sis. Good luck to you. I hope my listeners join you. Once again, give them the information on how to register before we part ways.
www.cbceconference.info.
Right.
www.cbceconference.info. And right when you get to the landing page, you get to this 313 event, Momentum for Equity, Empower, Educate, Evolve. One session at 1, another one at 3. We're all day talking about how we make transformative change through schools for the least of us and the best of us, Black children.
Okay. For anyone who has a problem, I'm sort of an analog myself. Logging on, is there a website or anyone that can give them instructions or give them some advice on how to join?
Oh, so once you get there, it's one click, right? Literally.
Easy.
Yes. You
Okay.
don't have to search for it. It shows right on up. I think it's the simplest way to,
Okay.
But certainly if you need assistance, there's also a help form on there where you can just email, and I'll end up showing up myself to help you.
There you go. I love the hands-on hands attention. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It takes all of
Dr.
it.
Rema Vassar, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today. Nice meeting you. I can't wait to meet you in person. Let's stay
Yeah.
connected. Let's stay sisters. And anything else that I can do to help you with any of your causes when it comes to our children, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay?
I appreciate you more than I can express. Thank you so much for having me.
Godspeed, sis. Godspeed.